You are now tuned into Flippin' the Birds, a Philly Sports Network podcast.
What's going on, Eagles fans? Welcome all to episode 123 of Flippin' the Birds. I'm Brian Cameron alongside Morgan Burkett, and we are joined by Wake Forest cornerback, East West Shrine All-Star, Jasier Taylor. How you feeling, man? I'm sorry about that.
I'm feeling good, man. Thank you for having me here.
Of course, our pleasure. And also, we appreciate you being as flexible as you've been with us. I did give Jasier the heads up that I had a long day, so I'm a little all over the place. But it's dope. I mean, we rarely. I don't think we've had a cornerback on the podcast outside of. I mean, Avon was a safety.
Mm-hmm. We've had a few DBs.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jasier plays all over the place. I think you got to prepare for a bit of everything coming into the draft. But I first saw you on the East West Shrine game. Really impressed. I'm in Canada, so I don't get to watch many real-time college games. But thanks for coming out, man. Really impressed by what you put out there, and obviously I wasn't the only one. But I think for our fans that aren't familiar with you, how'd you get started in football? Where are you from? I mean, we know that you're not that far away from the Eagles. How'd you get started in football? And just tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm from Asbury Park, New Jersey, by the shore, Central Jersey. Growing up, when I was little, before I even got into sports, anytime my mom, my grandma, my dad took their eyes off me, I was running around. So obviously when I got to that age, their first thought was to keep me in sports. So I started off flag football, basketball, baseball. I pretty much did anything and everything I can just to keep me occupied and busy. And turns out that I was actually pretty good at these sports. So I did all these sports up until high school. Then I went to Brick Township High School where I played basketball, football, ran track. And I felt like it was a great opportunity going into that high school. I was kind of the new guy. I went to middle school in Brick Township, but I never wanted to leave my friends, so I played with Asbury and Neptune for Pop Warner and AYF. So when I got to high school, the coaches didn't really know too much about me because when it was time to play for them, I will always give them the waiver to let me play with my other town. So freshman year of high school, I had to earn a little spot. First game went off, and then I was playing freshman, so I was playing with the freshman team for about 6 games, and then they noticed something in me, moved me up to varsity, and we won a state championship that year. So that was a good way to start off my high school career.
Mm-hmm. It's so interesting that you're saying, Asbury Park, Brick Township, and Neptune. I'm right up the block in Bridgewater. So, okay. I mean, when I think about Asbury Park, from people I've heard of, is people go out there to for the parties, for the festivals, stuff like that. That has nothing to do with my question, but so I just wanted to relate to that because we're cut from the same cloth in Jersey. So looking at a lot about you as well. You did turn down going to Temple with Matt Rule to go to Wake Forest. What went into that decision?
Yeah, so I had a couple players from where I'm from play at Temple. So I was always up there freshman year of high school. Whole high school career, I was at Temple, football games, practices. So I was around the team a lot. And then I gained an offer my junior year. And I wanted to commit as soon as I got it because, it felt like home. I knew a couple people there. It was cool. So going into my senior year, I was set to go to Temple. And then the coaching staff changed. Matt Rule went to Baylor. And literally everybody who I was getting close with left too.
Oh, wow.
And then late November, early December of my senior year, Wake Forest came around. I've never heard of Wake Forest. When I actually got connection from them, they DM'd me on Twitter. I thought it was fake.
No, seriously. They slid in DM like, hey, come over here.
Yeah, pretty much. I never even heard of Wake Forest. I had to look it up. And then next thing you know, maybe 3 days later, they were at my school. And they're all the way in North Carolina. They came up probably 3-4 times within weeks, like back to back. But what threw me off is that they wanted me to play corner. I never seen myself as playing defense. I was always on defense in high school just because I was athletic enough to be out there. But I always thought I would play slot receiver, running back, anything on offense. So I was confused why they wanted me at DB. And of course, the game that they came to watch me play was a playoff game, and I caught an interception. So I was like,
there you go.
I guess they see something in me that I don't. So I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, there's something I was going to bring up. Recruited at Temple for offense, and then you did play some defense. In high school, you end up playing probably both ways, quite a bit. But what was that transition like, and what was the initial thought when they're like, okay, we want you to come play corner for us? Were you prepared? Was it something you wanted to do? Was it something that was exciting?
It was exciting just to have the opportunity to go to Wake Forest, but it was a challenge. I had to rewire my brain, my mind. I got there July. Camp started in August. Half of my recruiting class was already up there in June, since in down south they graduate in like May or early June. I had to wait till like June 20th to graduate. So I felt like I was already behind. I had maybe 3 weeks to get in shape, get my technique right, learn defense, just a lot of things moving at once. And somehow I put it all together and earned some playing time my freshman year. So I guess it paid off.
So Wake Forest, I mean, it's a school that's that's known for several legendary players on the basketball side. Tim, wow, I'm off today. Tim Duncan, Dwayne Wade, I believe as well. No, Dwayne Wade.
CP3.
Yes, there you go. CP3 went to Wake Forest. Wade went to Marquette. I mean, talk to us about your experience there. I mean, obviously you're mentioning switching to cornerback. Is there and the second part of the question, is there an advantage for you being that used to play on the offense, be a wide receiver? Is there an advantage for you playing cornerback right now, where it's kind of like you're dissecting the way players move at a different speed than regular cornerbacks who just been defensive backs all their life?
Wake Forest was a great experience. Great academics, beautiful campus. The people there are just so nice, caring. Literally everybody. The classroom size are really small, so you really got that attention that you needed. And it's a really rigorous course and coursework, so it's good to have that one-on-one time with the teacher and professors, because they really care about you, not like at some big universities where you may get lost in the classroom. So it definitely was a challenge academic-wise, but like I said, the resources here helped me get through it and really made me learn a lot. And the football was amazing, competing week in and week out against great teams, great opponents, players, and just showcasing my talents. And what was the second part of the question?
So as a playing offense in high school, playing a wide receiver position, switching to cornerback, did you feel like you had a different advantage than regular kids who just played cornerback? I mean, dissecting the way wide receivers move, knowing that, hey, I would have made the same move, I would have gone this way when they're coming at me, kind of thing? Yeah,
those little cues came to me as I got older, because when I was young, I was just trying to figure out what I need to do and what the people around me doing, just to make sure I'm on the right page with my team. But once I got older, more comfortable out there, definitely a lot of little things that I used to do on the offensive side, you can pick up on the opponent.
We got someone in the chat that's complimenting your shirt. They like your shirt, so I thought I mentioned that. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting too. I think something that kind of gets lost on, especially us fans, about the draft process is, you're still in school, you still got to do all that stuff. What's that been like? Like that seems like it's a lot to take on. And you graduating at the end of this?
Yeah. So with the COVID year, I got an extra year, so I finished my degree in May of 2021. So my last season, I took a couple courses. I was kind of in a weird situation because I was leaving in December. So usually master courses are a year long. So I didn't get a chance to start a master's course. So
true. And what would you graduate with? If you don't want to be asking. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Brian touched on a bit of that transition to offense. But one of the things
really quick before we deep dive, because we have to ask him a very important question.
Okay.
Because you're a Southern Jersey kid. So I have to ask you this question. Who was your team growing up?
The Eagles.
Oh, okay.
Right.
There we go. Just clarifying.
But yeah, I was an Eagles fan. I'm not an Eagles fan anymore.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
We appreciate
when,
that. You can't be a fan.
Yeah, when things start to get a little serious and closer, I don't want to get my
Yeah.
feelings involved.
You got to detach yourself from it.
So
Yeah,
I kind of moved
it's
away.
something I always wondered about, man, because it's like I would have been posting early on if I was that I was a fan and stuff like that, and then you kind of gotta hide it, right, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's kind of a hard thing. Like, okay, so I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, Morgan, but just all right, just
no,
envision this: you get drafted by a team that growing up you didn't like. Like how I know it's your job, it's your career,
you gotta
but
put it
bro,
aside,
like how
man.
do you adapt to it? It's like I'm wearing these Cowboys clothes. Like you get like how do you like, bro? What? Why? Can I get cut?
It'll be a blessing,
invite me back and I'll let you know how it is.
Okay, there we go. All right, I'm holding you to that.
All right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but we talked a bit about the transition to offense, but you got skills on special teams as well. Had the one kick return all the way to when you got your opportunities, unfortunately, came later on. But how important do you think that is? How much you think it means that you're able to showcase that? I know you played specials kind of everywhere, but that you can bring that to the table, and how fortunate do you feel that you could finally show that off?
Yeah, it means a lot just being able to just get some reps to special teams, not just returning the ball. I was playing offense in high school. The moment I got into Wake Forest, I was begging to get my opportunity to get the ball in my hands, and it came late. But when I got the opportunity, I made the most of it. But going into those meetings with NFL teams, you start to notice that in the door of special teams, especially for corner, the main two corners. They don't play special teams, and you need guys who are fast, who be able to cover and block, and that's my build as a corner. So being valuable in special teams is the first way to making a roster, and I'm willing to play any position on special teams.
So now you're going to the pro level. Life's gonna change. You're leaving Wake Forest. You're leaving your young years behind. What is one play that came out of your career in Wake Forest that you will always hold dear to your heart? Was kind of like, yeah, I'm that guy. Like I did that. You get me? Just brag, bro. It's okay to brag, bro. Just brag it out. Let it out.
One play
or one moment like that you really hold. It's like, yeah, like this is my coming into my purpose kind of moment. It's a tough
moment. I would say I think it was my junior year. It was around like the middle of the season. We were playing Florida State. I felt like I deserved more playing time, and I went to my coach, and he's like, "All right, what do we need to do to get you going?" I was like, "Coach, I just need to play more. Just put me out there." And I feel like once I get comfortable, like the sky's the limit. And I just said that, and he was like, "Okay, we're gonna put you out there." I played probably the most snaps that game my junior year, and it was a big game against Florida State. I made a couple plays early on, and then it was a big third down in the fourth quarter. They were about to go up and go ahead and win the game, but they threw the same route that they did earlier in the game. I was waiting on it. I think it was a tackle for loss or short gain, and then they went on to miss the field goal, and that was the moment where I was like, I belong here because it's against Florida State. I kind of like backed up my words, telling my coach to let me play more, and since then I felt like I've been on a roll.
That's epic.
It seems like a pretty awesome atmosphere at Wake Forest. Like even us, putting out our ads for not even ads, just the posts for this interview, man. You got so much support. Some support we don't see from even established NFL players. So it must be really cool atmosphere. I know that the two you talked about, a couple of guys from Wake Forest that are in the NFL now, but we'll get to the NFL, I think. But I want to talk to you about the East-West Shrine game and that experience and what that was like, being able to kind of put yourself on the map. For those of you that weren't familiar, they got familiar. And for those of them that were familiar, you showed them just what you're about. So what was that experience like? Even just a week leading up to that, I know you got named an all-star for the practice squad as well. So what was that whole experience like? What were some highlights, and what was it like, competing against the best of the best going into the draft process?
Yeah, that game was like my first my first real test. Like,
Mhm.
all right, you're making a transition to be a pro. It's time for business. So that's how I handle it. I was like, um, I feel like I should be talked about more, get a little bit more respect. But like everybody feels like that, so I had to go out there and show it. There was a couple guys I knew out there that I came with from my team. I just went out there with a mindset of just taking any rep I can, making one scout or as many scouts as I can fall in love with me, and just open some eyes. It was a busy week. We were in meetings a lot. Um, pretty much no free time, but it's what we signed up for. So I really took the time to just hone in on it and have a business mindset. And then those first practices going out there, I was feeling good. Um, a lot of people weren't trying to hop into that nickel spot, so
Yeah.
every time it was open, I was out there. So one nickel with the twos, the threes, get corner reps when I can. Just any opportunity. I was literally jumping up in front of the line just to make plays. If I get beat, get back up there, make another play. Like, it's football, man. I just made sure I made the most out of all the opportunities I had out there, and then in the interviews, just getting my story out there, letting teams know what they'll get if they draft me or pick me, and just enjoying it, man. I just felt like it was a great experience, and ever since then, um, things been going well for me.
So we do have a question for you in chat. So I'm gonna run this question first, and then I have a question for you myself as well. So this one comes from Ron K, who never likes my microphone quality. Where does Taylor feel he excels? Tackling, hitting, ball hawking, or sticky coverage?
Sticky coverage.
Ooh.
Yeah, I like that. But
Okay.
I could tackle too as well.
Eagles need some tackling corners.
Yeah.
So my question for you now is who is Ja'Sir Taylor? You know, you're speaking to a fan base right now that is very demanding of the players that are drafted from round 1 to round 7 to even undrafted free agents. There's high expectations no matter where you're coming from, because for some odd reason, Eagles fans, they know players very, very well. So you're speaking to a very demanding fan base right now. So if you're in front of all of the link, who is Ja'Sir Taylor, and what do you bring into Philly if you get drafted by the Eagles?
Yeah, I'm a very versatile player. I'm willing to play special teams, nickel, corner, anything. And I'm a businessman. You won't have to worry about me representing our organization any way that it shouldn't be on or off the field. I'm local. I'm from Jersey. I grew up an Eagles fan. Not an Eagles fan anymore, just because of
Of course.
other
He's lying. I
reasons.
see it. He's lying.
But I'm a competitor. If I have the opportunity to play for the Eagles, if not, make us not make the roster or break a starting spot, I will make the people ahead of me work harder, because each day I'm going to come in and work, grind, let them know that if they slip up one day, I'm going past them. So it'll be overall better environment with me in your building.
That's hard.
That's a great answer, man. Speaking to that, that transition to kind of, you're a 2-time captain at Wake Forest, kind of at the top of the cream of the crop, and now you're in a transition period where you got to come in and learn. Obviously it'll be exciting to be in the league, but has that kind of dawned on you that you were right at the top, and now you're taking your first steps into the next level yet? What's on your mind as you kind of enter into the next? Have you had time to even think about it? I know it's a busy time of the year.
Yeah, I probably really haven't had as much time as I should have to think about that. But now that the question is posed, I'm excited. I mean, I get to learn from guys I watched growing up, people I study, just being able to take my game to the next level at this age and at this level of football, just knowing that I still have a lot to grow and learn. I'm excited to get around new people, pick things from a lot of people's game and make my game better, and just have a new role somewhere. I'm excited for the opportunity to do so, and hopefully I will build back up to that captain role and that leadership role in a new team.
So I gotta know. I mean, who do you model your game after? Because when I was doing the promo picks, I stumbled upon a lot of pictures where you were letting your swag just flow out of there. It was kind of like, yeah, you guys are not scoring on me. You're not catching the ball on me. So I gotta like it brought me back to like Asante Samuel kind of style, where it's that swagger, like, no, like it's not happening against me. and a little bit of Darius Slay. So,
like
coming
that.
up, like, who do you really like? Whose film did you study enough where you could, like, I'll take this from this person, I'll take this from this person, and I'm making my own.
Yeah, so I got a couple players that I play with that are in the league. So of course I watch Jesse Bates,
Mhm.
safety. I love his game, so I watch
Oh
him.
yeah.
Then I kind of try to find people who play my position or have my skill set. So I kind of watch a little bit of Denzel Ward, Kenny Moore, and then
Mhm.
that swagger just I don't know what it is when I come onto the field. It just switches on, kind of like Jalen Ramsey type, where he's always letting opponents know that he's there every play. I'm not like that off the field at all. I don't know what it is. It's just that when the ball's
Yeah,
kicked off and we in the zone, like even when I'm playing good receivers who I know have a high status and on a roll, like I let them know first play, like we gonna work. Like I'm here to work. Like you're a good player. I'm a good player. I'm gonna see what you're about. And every time I get the opportunity to let them know I'm here, I let them know. But I don't know.
Mhm.
It's
That's
just
deep,
something
man.
different when I step onto the field.
And I get it because we interviewed Brian Dawkins about a year ago, or a year or two ago, and he spoke about that. Like, he's like, when I went on the field, I turned into somebody I was like. It wasn't me. Like, has something came over, it was like, obviously they call him Weapon X and the Wolverine, but he described that as just like, a different form of a release for him, which is great because, like I said, like you show that in your style of play as well. So it's kind of like, like you're more than ready for the next level. You fit the mantra of the next level. So yeah, that speaks volumes, man. Confidence is huge. Just like Ron said, confidence is great in a cornerback.
Thank you.
Now I'm curious. I mean, obviously, wherever you go, you give it your all, and you never want to, say anything that's gonna turn you off to certain teams. But is there a preference to going somewhere where they might be kind of loaded at veterans? You can come in, you can learn, versus like a young team. I mean, the Eagles are kind of a bit of both, right? We had kind of the best of both worlds, where you got there, you slayed there, and then some opportunity across. Is there a preference? You want to come in and you want to learn, you want to get starting time right away and get thrown into the fire? Is there a preference or I mean, you can't really say, I guess, but
I would prefer a favorable situation where there's a spot to be taken. A lot of a
right.
lot of teams do have their number one corners where like no matter what you do, this guy's gonna play, and
Mhm.
that's how it is. But also some veteran leadership. Like I need to know how things work at the next level. I'm not gonna come in with a big head thinking that I know how to play or what to do, and like it's just like college because it's not the same. So
Right.
Mhm.
either situation works for me.
Mhm. Anyone you're looking forward to covering? Who's that guy you want to go against?
It might be a challenge, but Tyreek Hill,
Yeah. Now
fast,
he's in
savvy,
Miami.
travel all the way around the field. Like he's a lot to handle, but that's the best challenge.
It's
Yeah.
funny because I have a friend of mine, so I called him up. I called him on my way out of work to talk about the Tyreek Hill trade, and he despises Tyreek Hill because he says Tyreek, just 3 routes and go and a fly route, and that's all he is. But you, on the other hand, an actual player, you're looking forward to playing against him and seeing what how you can match up against him. So it's pretty dope. Two different
Mhm.
views of it. Sorry, speaking out loud,
Yeah.
thinking out loud.
I mean, yeah, the couple of things he does do, he's I mean, you can't beat the speed.
No, and
The
the
speed.
separation. I mean, he actually has hands. He's not like some of the guys that come out of college that
Mhm.
they have speed, but for some reason they don't develop the um, tracking the ball well.
Mhm. Yeah. So, I mean, was there a guy in college where like who I mean, you don't have to say like the toughest guy, but you talked about the Florida State game, and you traveled a lot, so I'm sure you covered pretty much everyone. But was there a guy you went against, and then you kind of like you were like, okay, this guy's probably going to the league, like I'm competing with him, I'm feeling good. Do you have one of those like aha moments?
Yeah, I covered De'Ami Brown from UNC.
Yeah,
Mm,
okay,
Um,
we're big fans.
yeah.
that game was one of the games where first play I let him know like
Yeah.
I know what you're trying to do. I know what I'm trying to do. Like let's work. Like
Hmm.
that was one of the games. I played Jordan Addison last year. He won the Biletnikoff, so he's a very good receiver. There's probably a bunch of receivers that I'm leaving out, but those two stuck out to me.
Well, I mean, you get to play Diami twice a year if you come to the Eagles. Just saying, but
we were big fans of De'Ami coming out of college, so we were mocking him really hard to the Eagles. Being in a position where you're in right now, where you're kind of focused on you're meeting with teams, you're doing your pro day, you're getting prepped to have your name called. Are you looking at where media is projecting you to be drafted at, or is that stuff like in the back of your mind was kind of like irrelevant at this point in your career?
Every now and then I look at it. Like after the East-West game, I was looking at it, but a lot of that stuff really doesn't mean anything, to be honest, because anybody can make a mock draft. Anybody can say anything. Not discrediting what people think about me or anything, but I don't want to get caught up in projections and then draft day come and I'm not where all these people project me to be, or the opposite. So I try to stay away from that stuff. It's hard though, being in this situation, but
I can imagine.
Especially now, man. These days it's everywhere, right? Like, so everyone's got. I got a mock draft. You know what I mean? Like, who cares what I have to say? But it's everywhere. I get that.
I've actually stayed away from the mock drafts this season. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, you're never right. There's no way to be right.
Whoa! Listen, I'm 8 out of 10 majority of the time. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate that. There's still those 2 out of 10, but
it's
pretty good. It's 20%. Have you had you might not be able to say, but have you had many opportunities to speak to coaches and what's that interest like when they're talking to you, and what are those conversations been? What are those conversations been like? We've heard some weird stuff. Like they're playing mini basketball. Nick Sirianni's playing mini basketball with stuff, and so what's that experience like? How are the interviews been going?
Yeah, I haven't had any weird interviews yet, but at the East-West game, I interviewed with pretty much every team, if not maybe exclusion of 4 or 5, but a lot of general questions, background questions, toughest receiver you covered. Some bring up film, ask you what you do in this play, stuff like that. Or even after, I get a few phone calls just to check up on me, see how I'm doing in training. They ask me what I'm going to run. I never tell them, just ask them to come to Pro Day March 30th. I got a workout set up with one team. And then hopefully after my Pro Day, more calls come in, more serious talks happen, but it's been a lot of surface level things so far.
So if you can tell us, what's the one team that's been showing the most interest so far? If you can't, you can't.
I don't know how it works. I don't want to.
Yeah, it's all good.
Who's winking the most? Who's winking the most at you, Jersey?
I don't know.
It's all good. Don't worry. Don't sweat it, bro. Don't sweat it.
You trying to get a perfect mock draft? That's what you're trying to do.
I'm trying. That's the reason I didn't do it yet.
Yeah, man. I we're getting close to that half an hour, and we really appreciate you coming on. We would love to have you on again, maybe after the draft. Hopefully in Midnight Green, we'd love to see that.
So just really quick, I don't care where you get drafted. If we can get you on again, just to talk to you about your experience and how you felt going through the motions of it, I'm all for it, dude. Honestly, we pride ourselves on being a podcast that's fans of of the players. I feel like too many podcasts kind of dissect players and they talk out of their ass most of the time. But we rather hear who you are than like the person. No, it's the truth. Who you are, the person, and how how you're experiencing life. Like we've had Sean Bradley on twice already from the Eagles, the linebacker, and when he comes on, everything's chill. We just talk. So if we can get you again, definitely Morgan will keep in touch, and then we'll make something happen.
We'll be following along no matter what, even if it is Dallas, man. Like
talk about the experience, man.
I definitely want to come back though for sure. Well, maybe I'll be a little bit more loose. It's my first time on here.
Hey, don't sweat it, man.
You did fantastic. It's been a pleasure, man.
I messed up the intro, so don't even sweat it, bro.
Yeah,
nobody's thinking about you. Right? I messed up the intro.
You think it was Brian's first time too, so. Yeah, man. Real quick, for any of our viewers that are looking to follow you to see more of you, where can they find you? Twitter handles, Instagram handles. We tagged you in anything and everything we could, but some of these guys don't follow us, stuff like that.
Really quick too, like you lit up our Instagram, dude. Like,
oh yeah, man.
You have a wild following. You have a wild support system. They lit us up, and you were like, we have Pascal coming on at 9:30, but you were like literally the talk of the podcast. So,
That's
dude, like, hats
crazy.
off to you. Like, it's wild, man.
Shout out to the Philly fans and my fans back in Jersey.
There we go, man.
Of course.
People overlook Jersey too much, man.
Yeah. But my social media is all the same. My Instagram and Twitter is at SUPPASTAR_. So I once was a Philly fan, so any Philly fans, man, I'm free to interact, man. Let's chop it up.
There it is. You guys heard it here from Ja'Sir Taylor. Mo, you wanna give him his exit? Listen, man, you did all the work for this.
It's just been a pleasure. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for responding to my random DM on Twitter. You know, it doesn't always work out, but you know, a well-spoken young man. I'm looking forward to watching you in the league, man. I'll be fans of yours.
One more question.
Okay. Brian's starting to heat up, man.
I'm starting to wake up. I had a long day at work, so I'm just like, I'm getting to myself again. So cornerbacks, Eagles cornerbacks and several cornerbacks outside of Philly, you know, they have this thing, you know, the finger wagging, bro.
Oh yeah, the celebration.
How do you feel about that? Like, is that, you know, something you're bringing to the NFL? Or is that something that's like, you know, you have your own way to go about your celebrating?
Yeah, I do thumbs down.
Oh, okay. I dig that, bro. There it is.
Yeah, that was my little. We had a thing with my corners, Bermuda boys, with Bermuda Triangle. It was started by Amari Henderson and Isang Bassi, so I carried it on at Wake Forest. So I'll be bringing that on to the league when I make some plays.
I'm looking forward to that, man. That's dope. I like it. It's better than you know.
All right, man. Well, again, I'll be a fan of yours. I mean, we both will. So hopefully I have you on again after the draft. Good luck if we don't speak to you until then. You know, I'm looking forward to hearing your name called. I'm sure you are too. I'm sure you are more than I am. But, but yeah, it's gonna be.
Morgan's gonna have a proud dad moment.
Yeah.
From Canada.
A single tear, you know. But yeah. So yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time out. I think you already got some followers in the chat, so we really appreciate it. And good luck. Good luck with everything.
Thank you. No, thank you for the opportunity just to come over here and speak. It really was genuine and cool, not like a serious interview or a podcast. So I appreciate that, and I'm excited to come back.
Yeah, sounds like a plan, man. We're gonna make it happen.
All right, thank you.
All right, brother.
Have a good one, man. Good luck at your pro day too.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, guys. So that was Ja'Sir Taylor, Wake Forest cornerback, NFL prospect. You're really big on him. Like, you're extremely big on him. From you, speaking to you about him, like, for lack of better terms, you gush at the thought about Ja'Sir. What about him really stands out that you want this kid to not only come to the Eagles, but obviously succeed at the next level?
I mean, one's like, you heard his answers, dude. I mean, you can't ask for a better guy. I feel like Eagles are always high on good character guys, and I mean, you know, you hear him talk. He's calm, he's composed, and then, you know, you hear about that kind of like that dog mentality at corner. You know, I just feel like as a person, like, you want those kind of guys in your locker room. Talent wise, man, like, you know, we talked about versatility. The Eagles love to play a versatile defense, move everyone everywhere, play a little this, play a little that. He's fast, he's athletic. And you know, the transition from offense to defense shows, man, he's got good ball skills. He's smart. He understands what's going on. He's a leader. I think he just ticks a lot of boxes. I think that you got some splashy names that, you know, are raising some light bulbs with a lot of people, and he's just being overlooked. But I think that whoever gets him, and I hope it's the Eagles, will get a really talented player.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that sentiment. So Chris should be joining us soon. Zach will actually be joining us at 9:30. He's actually having dinner. We're finishing up dinner with the Eagles coaches, which is wild.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's very fair. Chris shot his shot by asking to get Nick on, but the likelihood of that happening is very slim, I would assume. But yeah, in the meantime, we do have some stuff to kind of go over a bit. Zach Pascal, we didn't really get to talk about the signing. Yesterday we kind of went over it. We kind of winged it because we were expecting to have Sean Bradley on, but Sean Bradley was actually under the weather. For some reason, a lot of people I feel like are really overlooking this signing. I mean, me and you discussed it before the podcast where he's actually a pretty good slot receiver. I mean, he had back-to-back seasons over 600 yards. Got injured last year. It wasn't, when you get injured, things are just not the same. You're not, you got to get back to your standard at a later time.
Mhm.
But fitting this Eagles offense, you're thinking about it. Quez on the outside, he's a burner. You're thinking Devontae Smith is probably the most interchangeable wide receiver you have on this offense. Jalen Reagor, everybody knows what everybody feels about Jalen Reagor. It's hard to overlook the fact that Nick Sirianni and Reagor really didn't get along in the camp when Sirianni came. He was really hard on Reagor. And Jalen hasn't made that next step. And then, after that, it's a fall off. It's a cliff dive. You have John Hightower, but he was a practice squad last year. JJ Arcega-Whiteside most likely does not reach the roster this year. And, I think is it Pascal or Pascal? I want to say Pascal so bad.
Depends how French you are, I think.
Okay, Pascal. I think he's a pretty good slot receiver. He gets separation. He has great hands. He has great body control. And even in midair, has great body control. And he can track the ball pretty damn well. I mean, how do you feel about the signing?
Great. I think you touched on a lot of stuff. I think, primarily played in the slot. He's one of those like heavy slot guys where he plays a lot in the slot and a bigger body than we have. I think that gets overlooked, just how small the Eagles receivers are. Dallas Goedert takes kind of a brunt of that, but you need to be able to play physical with these corners. And he can do that. He's not necessarily, he's no Tyreek Hill, right? Like he's not known for burning people, but he can run the deep routes. He's really, really good on in crossing routes. So like he's not afraid to take contact over the middle. Great hands in contact. What really impressed me, what really jumped out is I was doing some fact checking, some background stuff, and every single year, his efficient routes. So, the list of the top 3 most efficient routes changed. And that's not an indictment of him being more or less efficient, but it's just that he recognizes what he needs to work on and he gets better at it. I know it's only a 1-year deal, but this is a guy that every single year has improved, has gotten better at, growing his route tree, growing what he's good at. And I just feel like bringing a guy like that in, it's something I'm interested to talk to him about because, he hasn't been in the league that long, but he's coming in and being a veteran player for a team with young receivers that love to put their receivers in different situations. So, you're talking about a guy who can teach younger players how to do a bit of everything. Like I don't think there's many that have had as much experience doing that as Zach. And two, I just feel like getting a receiver that's familiar with what the offense wants to do. Like that was a problem last year, right? We talked about it. We're not really sure what the identity is. And I think that Pascal, I think we'll go with Pascal. I'm not French either, but
a lot of the highlight tapes, they said Pascal.
They're both right, I feel like. But I just feel like, he's going to be familiar with the system. He's going to be familiar with the coaching staff. And that's so underrated. Just a slam dunk and, looking at the contract, I hate talking. It feels weird to talk about numbers with a guy I'm literally going to be talking to later. But it's a home run of a deal, man.
Absolutely.
Might as well be a hometown discount. Like,
yeah.
It
feels like a Sirianni discount more than anything.
Yeah.
And like kind of look at the numbers, right? He did get injured last year, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm not mistaken, he was injured. But before that, he was with Sirianni in 2020, right? 44 receptions.
Big year too.
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead. 2021 was a big year too.
44 receptions. 44 receptions out of 71 targets. Pretty efficient, right? Yards per reception was 14.3. The year before that, 14.8. So like you say, he's presumably gotten better as the years gone by. Last year, the Colts were a little bit hot and cold. On top of that, he did lose Sirianni, who was focal point in the offense, as much as people didn't want to really recognize it. So now coming here, where it's like you have a Devontae Smith, you have Nick Sirianni, this kid's influence is going to be heavy in the wide receiver group, especially if the Eagles go wide receiver in the first round, which I'm heavily pounding the table for. It has to happen. If they do go wide receiver in the first round, you have Zach influencing Devontae Smith. He's influencing Quez Watkins. He's influencing a Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave, whichever one. That's huge, and that's huge for two people. That's huge for Zach because that means Zach's going to get a lot more playing time. That means he's going to take the role of a leader on this team, this very young team. Second person that's going to really influence is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is getting a receiver that not only is accustomed to the system that Nick Sirianni brought to Philadelphia, but he's getting a veteran receiver that's actually been efficient throughout his career. Like we don't have that in Philly.
Yeah.
I
mean, Devontae Smith is, I still think, your number one guy, but as a complimentary guy, like you can't get much better.
No, I was gonna say, I know we speak high about Greg Ward, but Greg Ward's leadership, like, it speaks more volumes than his play. Right. But now you have Pascal, who's gonna have that leadership, but he's also gonna have that play. Like this kid, people overlook, he's 6'2".
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. Bigger body.
Big guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Has great catch radius as well.
What I really like, I think in my brain, when I'm thinking about how he's going to be used in the offense, what I really like is you could tell that there was times last year that Sirianni, when Ertz was still on the team, that he was trying to figure out a way to create confusion and mismatches over the middle of the defense, and he just wasn't able to get it going. Nothing really got the traction that he needed to early on in the season, right? We started to figure out later in the season, but when Ertz left, you really only have one guy that's going over the middle, and that's Goddard. Like who else, maybe Greg Ward, but you saw how much he was used, and he was not really one of those bigger body guys that you want catching the football. Like he's more get him in space. He will make good catches, but he doesn't have that much yards after catch potential. And so I think that like that's where he really benefits Jalen Hurts, is you want him to start looking over the middle. That was a big problem. Something he needs to work on is looking over the middle. Well, when Dallas Goedert's getting double covered, who are you going to throw to over the middle? Quez Watkins developed in that regard. Devontae Smith is a great route runner, but I think you just need that guy who's willing to be over the middle, take those, that use his physicality, provide a target over the middle, and then create mismatches. So he's a big slot guy, so the smaller slot corners are not going to have a good time covering him. And then he has the speed, whereas if he's matched up on a hybrid linebacker kind of type, or a safety or whoever you want, like he will make you pay. He's a great route runner. It's just a really good route runner. Yeah, very fantastic. Probably his best asset is really, really talented route runner, and not just like I think we think of kind of route running as traditional, like he's really good in and out of his breaks, but he just understands how to use his speed and how to use his body to create leverage. Really solid player in that regard. So yeah, a great pick. I think I agree with you that they're not done adding at the receiver position. I don't know that, Quez Watkins is your number 2 receiver all the time. Is it going to be in the first round? I'm not sure, but is it going to be Devontae Parker? We're not sure. But as a complimentary receiver, building this young receiving core, hopefully he sticks around for more than 1 year. We're not sure. But it would be a great piece.
If the Eagles don't go first round for a wide receiver, who's available in the second round besides Christian Watson? Because I don't even think Christian Watson falls in the lap of Philly in the second round.
Jalen Tolbert's another. Like I think the assumption is it's going to be a bigger body that plays the outside. Like that's just it. That's what they need. So I feel like that's kind of the direction they're going to go. So Jalen Tolbert, South Alabama receiver. Played in the Senior Bowl, wasn't crazy in the Senior Bowl, did really well. I don't really think that anyone in the Senior Bowl like wowed at receiver. I really like Romeo Doubs as well. He's played in Nevada. Carson Strong's top. I think it's Carson Strong that's in Nevada. His top receiver. So two different players, but both kind of big body outside receivers. So Jalen Tolbert's going to be that big, long guy. Not a heavy guy, like not massive, but uses his strength really well, especially in the red zone. There's a couple of times where he just bodied dudes and was able to get open. So a good red zone target, really long, great catch radius, good body control. So he's one of those guys. I think if you're looking at a bit more speed, then Romeo Doubs is a great option. A real burner, man. And it's weird to see a dude that it's like that long. I think he's only 6 foot, but he's long. He's a big 6 foot, and he just flies. He's a fast dude. There's a couple times he just like the quarterback just didn't look at him, but he was wide open a lot. So he's another guy. It's such a deep receiver class, but those are 3 guys, including Christian Watson, that I feel like.
What about the kid from Penn State? Is it Jahan Dotson? Yeah.
Yeah. I think a different kind of receiver, I think, but yeah, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. It's such a deep draft, and like these are the guys that I like, that I focused on, but there's so many this year that like you can't really go wrong. That's why, when we've been doing our mocks, I'm like, well, you could wait on receiver, but obviously a first round talent, like Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave, they're gonna bring maybe a special something, especially first. I think receiver we thought of as a position where you could just be like a first round pick and then come in and be awesome, like Justin Jefferson. And like it happened for a couple of years in a row, but I don't like traditionally receivers always been looked at a position where it takes a couple of years. So I think if you're willing to wait and you're willing to like let a guy develop, and the Eagles have already spent 2 first round picks on receivers. There's some
let it go. It's gonna happen again.
Yeah, it might. It might. I think that the better move, in my opinion, is to go with like a Devontae Parker, trade away a pick.
I feel like he doesn't have that same bounce that he used to. Like Devontae Parker 2 years ago. Yes, hell yes. Right. But this is injury riddled Devontae Parker. This is Devontae Parker who got pushed out of a team that had Jalen Waddle. Who's the third wideout? It's Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. They have a third that they really pushed out Parker like that.
Tough. All right, I'm just gonna Google it. We Google things on the show, guys. Little tidbit. It happens.
No, that's a stumper. Like, if you guys know the answer in the chat, definitely put it in the chat. But I'm curious to know who wideout number 3 is.
Cedric Wilson. They picked up.
Yes,
they also got Alan Hearns. Preston Williams was another guy that like had a good couple of games, and then.
But that has to speak volumes about where Parker is right now in his career. To let him go over Cedric Wilson, to let him go over Alan Hearns, like these are guys. Cedric Wilson, yes, he had his moments in Dallas, but that feels like an expensive signing for no reason. No,
I think Matt Collins signed somewhere else.
Yeah, he's actually elsewhere now. He's
in Las Vegas.
He's either Vegas or Denver, I think.
I think he's AFC West. Just more talent going to the AFC West. But I think you make a good point, and I think if we're just talking about Devontae Parker in a nutshell, like you're right, he's not the same receiver, and he might be. I think injuries just take a toll, and that's no indictment on him. Like that's just the way it works.
That's what it works. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think what I'm looking at is, are the Eagles better off understanding that this year might not be their year to win the Super Bowl, and like God forbid we're in Philly, you have to win the Super Bowl every year, but
it's a big year for Jalen Hurts, and you need to get him the right target. As much as as to clarify again, as much as we are not biased about Jalen Hurts, which is not a crime, it's okay to be not biased about Jalen Hurts. It's a big year for him, and if it's a big year for him, they had to surround him with the right talent. You have to get the right wide receivers around him. It's a fact. You can't set him up for failure and be like, yeah, he failed. Like, no, bro. Like, put the right people around him. Let him get his shot. If he succeeds, which fingers crossed, we're all hoping for it to happen. I've compared the kids to Randall Cunningham. Like, I want it to happen.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson as well. Yeah. Like,
no, I think you're right, and I think that's if that's what happens, then the Eagles didn't make a poor decision. I have nothing against that, but I think the other thing too is that what helps a quarterback develop is having a great defense, right?
Oh, yes.
And it's a secondary thing, right? But being on the field and getting more opportunities and not having to play catch up the whole game, like that was a big problem early on. Is that we were asking Jalen Hurts to go win it in the fourth quarter, and he's padding the stats and he looks great, but the game's already out of hand, right? Like not only do you have to see Jalen Hurts compete as a quarterback, but you have to see him compete as a winning player in the NFL. And if you are getting down by 2 or 3 touchdowns early on in the game, like you're just not going to get that. It's great if you can pad the stats. So I again, nothing to say they shouldn't draft a receiver in the first round. I think if one of those top guys, I think Garrett Wilson's probably the favorite. But either of those Ohio State receivers, there's nothing wrong with going with those guys. But I think
they have to make up for it because, yes, and again, you clarified, all the time that they went wide receiver back-to-back years, but they effed up the first time around. Let's call it what it is. So if they do go wide receiver again, it's just them correcting a mistake that they made previous to the Devontae Smith pick. It's just factual at this point.
But I think that, they made a good pick at receiver last year, a great pick at receiver last year. And we're kind of now assuming that the Eagles and especially Howie Roseman's good at like picking receivers. You know what I mean? Like, I think that that's just not one of the Eagles' talents. It's like you talk about like the Steelers, for example. The Steelers grabbed a receiver in the 3rd round, like 4 or 5 years in a row, and just hit on every single one. It's just like they were just developing. And I just like I don't think the Eagles are that team. And that can change with staff, or that can change with scouting, or maybe you're just getting different insight from the guys that But one of the things they're really good at drafting is defensive linemen.
Absolutely, Jordan Davis.
One of the things they're really good at drafting is offensive linemen, right? Like, so there's a couple things where it's like you could, like, I think more so than anything, more so than needing a wide receiver, more so than needing a corner, more so than needing a linebacker, the Eagles need to have a great draft. This is the draft that they need to have a great draft. So if it's best player available at every single pick, and you end up drafting 2 defensive linemen, that's the pick. That's the draft you needed to have. You know what I mean? So if they end up going defensive end, defensive tackle, and then center, people might be pissed. But like, if those are the best players on the board, that's a great draft for the Eagles. And I just think that's the way to go. If you can trade a pick this year and get a pick next year, that's another way to go. And I just feel like if Jalen Hurts is really the guy, he will show something without that number 1 receiver. And it's true.
It's hard to do that.
It is.
Come on, Morgan. It's an offensive league now. Come on.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's an offensive league. Defense does win championships, but offense gets you there.
I think you're talking about a 1,000-yard receiver in Devontae Smith.
Of course.
You're talking about a borderline 1,000-yard receiver in Dallas Goedert.
Okay.
You're talking about probably a 500-600-yard minimum. If obviously health is a concern with all of if they're not healthy.
They're not deep at wide receiver. They're not.
Exactly.
And it's a big issue.
But like, they are still going to be what I hope is a primarily run first offense. I think that's what they're going to do. So it's great to spend that first on a receiver. And again, like, this is me being completely on one side, because I really don't think it's that big of a deal if they do end up. I think that there's definitely scenarios.
I think it's earth shattering. Yeah. Oh damn! I think it's earth shattering. Okay, it's apocalyptic if you don't.
Well, I mean,
receiver in the
we've
first
done the
round.
drafts, and there's
scenarios. We got 9 minutes.
Okay.
You want to just swing one on the board? I mean, we have a lot of people in the chat right now, and there's a lot of debate right now.
I want the draft network to throw us something different. Like, we've been getting the same kind of players.
You can well, no, because you play predictive boards. What's the other one? The big board, it goes by order.
We should have done one of these with Jasir and see what he.
No.
That would have been. I feel bad. If we had this time, I would have. Anyways, but
hey, Doug. Yeah, we just finished talking about Devontae Parker. Morgan's a fan. I'm not a fan, just because I feel like we're getting a shell of Parker opposed to getting who Parker was 2 years ago. It just was 2 years ago. I'm toasting beers, to everybody in Philly, but It's the guy got
I
beat
think-
out by Allen Hurns, Cedric Wilson, and who's the?
I think you're
third
getting
guy?
like Alshon Jeffrey the year after the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Yes.
That's what it kind of reminds me. It's not a bad thing, but like I think that if you're, talking about a number one receiver and him coming in and being, the guy he used to be, then how many rounds do you want to do?
Let's do 2 rounds. All right, guys.
2
So
rounds.
you guys can be fully involved with this live mock draft. We have about 8 minutes before Zach and Chris join us. So again, whoever you guys want, we'll take the vote on it. Defense, offense, whatever case may be. Let's not do any trades.
Monitor here.
Oh, you're getting real fancy, huh? It's my second week in the office, right? And I use my laptop with 2 monitors. I felt really
Never mind.
professional, man. I felt like big time.
Yeah, but then it stopped working. And it's like,
Oh no, mine's working perfectly fine.
yeah. Well, do you have the draft network?
No, I'm talking about work. Chris is matching me.
All right, we're good now. Okay, so
Hey, Buttercup.
So you know, I had this swisher on first.
How I've been here. Oh, how was I say? Who the hell is this?
all right,
There we go.
here we go.
You joined us just in time, bud.
2 rounds. You want to do? Yeah,
Oh, great.
Well, we're debating right now, right? The big talk is no wide receiver first round, and I'm curious to see who falls in the second round to the Philly. I don't believe Watson falls that far down.
Someone actually just shared on that. I don't know if it was Daniel Jeremiah or Bucky Brooks said that they're predicting that those Chiefs will trade up with the Eagles to target Jamison Williams.
Mm.
He's not gonna be ready for the season though, right?
I think he should be.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be ready by training camp. I think he'll be ready by the season.
All right. So here we go. We got
Because he tore it like mid-season, right? And he tore it before the championship game.
yeah, but like not much. I thought it was late in the year, but okay. So Trevor Penning probably not. I also
we're
think
at 15 right now.
I also think that's like I feel like a needy a tackle team is going to take him before he actually should go. To be honest, but
Cool.
you got Garrett Wilson, Jordan Davis, Drake London.
Garrett Wilson, Eagles fan. Garrett Wilson.
Yeah,
You know,
I saw that
Eagles
today, too.
nostalgia will kick in for Howie.
Okay,
and
so
Jeffrey.
the-
They'll be like, yeah, let's draft Garrett Wilson because he just makes
And
all the sense in the world, and our fans will love us again.
But that's not like a freaking Sharif Miller type thing, though.
Is
Like
the
Garrett
No,
Wilson's
this one will actually
good.
succeed.
is the purpose
And they won't
of
beat
this
with you.
to see who's available in the second round for receiver? Because then we
Yeah, go defense. Let's go to the second round because I'm curious to see who falls to the Eagles.
all right, we going Jordan Davis again.
Oh, hell yeah. I love that big guy.
All right. So you heard it here first, guys. Jordan Davis, guaranteed going to the Eagles. All right. I think here's where it gets interesting. You got Linderbaum, you got Karlaftis, you got Devin Lloyd.
I personally think that 16, if they're willing to make the pick, they're going Garrett Wilson, no matter what. It's either Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave, but I think it's Wilson more than anything, just because, again, the nostalgia of having an Eagles fan selected in the top 20 and actually hitting on this pick.
Yeah. So you want to take him now, or do you want to wait till the
might as
second?
well. No, just
All
take it. I'll never forgive myself if we miss out on him.
Okay.
Oh wow,
Look.
Devontae Wyatt. Why not go keep going defensive line?
I want to try and find one of these simulators that is actually like kind of
Legit?
realistic. I feel
Yeah, I
I feel
know.
like Draft Network has really lost their luster.
I feel like Madden is a lot more accurate than they are.
Well, they updated it closer to the draft. I don't think it's updated yet. But we got, we still got Devin Lloyd. We can go Chris Olave, get the teammates. Get Kyrie Elam.
Devin Lloyd for sure. How's that not even? I mean, how's that?
We can get Karlaftis. That's not a bad pick either.
Or that as well, yeah.
Devin Lloyd. All right. I feel like we should just do the second round since that's what we're waiting on. But
Yeah.
Treylon Burks to the Titans is interesting. Chris Olave to the Bills.
It's not a bad move.
Kenny Pickett in Detroit. Like, there's no way Kenny Pickett falls to the second round.
It's a strong vibe. It's either they're gonna get drafted really high or they're gonna fall really low.
Okay, so the whole purpose of this is that we're looking for second round receivers, even though we already got Garrett Wilson.
Correct.
All right, so George Pickens.
Not a bad pick. Watson's not there, right? He just got selected by the Chiefs.
Watson. Yeah. So you got David Bell. He's injured too, but he ran some at the combine. You got Calvin Austin, speed guy. And then it's I think at this point you're waiting until the third. I mean, we got Garrett Wilson, but
that's what I'm saying. So if you really want to strike for a good pick, a guy that's going to be efficient to line up with Devontae Smith for the next several years, you got to strike while the iron's hot. You have 3 first-round picks. I mean,
yeah, but this is also not including. Well, also Jalen Petrie went right before Christian Watson.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like these 2 guys are like dream second-round picks.
Absolutely, yeah.
If either of those guys fall and the Eagles get them, that would be huge.
But if you go defensive tackle, wide receiver, and what we went linebacker, you could go running back now. You can go, or even go defensive end in the first round. You pick Christian Harris
Well,
there,
I think you go corner.
or corner.
You get what are your guys' thoughts on running back? Do the Eagles is that an area of need or not?
Yes.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah.
I just don't think Sanders lasts the whole year. If he's not traded before the season, I don't think he lasts the whole year. I think regardless of how the Eagles season's going, I think he's out by trade deadline.
I think it's Kenny Gainwell season. I think they use him more.
Just because I don't think they're gonna pay him next offseason, so they might as well get something for him right now.
Yeah, but they could probably get him on a bargain. I mean, the kid's been injured.
They did meet with Breece Hall though. The Eagles met with Breece Hall,
who's in between the tackle runner. So that'll be a nice one.
He's a real good player.
Mm-hmm. I like the is it North Carolina?
They can draft Carson Strong.
Yeah, or Matt Corral. You like him, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think probably corner would be my pick. You can get Chad Mumu wouldn't be bad either.
What'd you say?
Chad, is it Mumu?
Hold on, we're gonna pause for a minute. We're gonna pause your screen for a minute.
For sure.
No, I'm not saying because someone's joining yet, but hold on. Gotta make sure we all see this.
Oh God, this is baby pictures of Morgan. I love the look. What the hell is this? Oh.
And they don't make you like the going out style. Oh, pretty baby. This
do we know who this guy is?
That's Jordan.
Me when I just want to make smile.
Jordan, yeah.
I want to see like Prince.
I mean, dude's 6.
Like
how incredible is this?
He's a man of many talents. How can you not love this guy?
And the fact that he got eliminated with this one.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, that's why they amassed him. He got amassed because he eliminated him. There's probably a bunch of Cowboys fans.
Anything for you to notice. All the way to seven need you. Doing this is not style. I must pick you up in a Cadillac like a gentleman bringing
you out of breath, man.
Oh, good.
It's not what we one of a kind living in the world gone past me. Baby, you're so classy.
I don't think it didn't show. Yeah, they didn't show I'm asking.
The first time he sang when the Eagles did the rookie thing,
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about Jordan Mailata on Good Morning Football, and so I commented. I don't know why I'm commenting, but I commented and I was like, "Yo, do you guys hear him sing?" And Kay Adams responded, and she was like, "Yeah, we did," and that was probably the peak of my life. I mean, it's all done.
But sorry, Morgan. I hear she's taken.
I know
she's dating the old Bengals tight end who just signed with the Jets. CJ
Uzomah?
whatever.
Yeah, I'm taking two happily.
All right.
I don't care.
Way to cover yourself there, because she's.
Yeah, I'm not worried about her.
Hell no. Yeah, shit. She's a downgrade for me.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. But yeah, that was a cool moment. Beautiful voice.
You know, it was a cool moment for me with Kay Adams was when she stole my stat over the summer.
Yeah,
during the
I
season.
remember that. Wow.
It's very
I
sad.
still have
that happens to you a lot.
I still have the video saved on my phone because I like to watch it every now and then.
Why is it a
remind
video?
myself. No, when it was on
on
NFL Network or Game Day or Good Morning whatever.
It was a weird one though, wasn't it? It was like, like Jalen Hurts is the first quarterback to chew bubblegum on a Tuesday, and
Yeah. It was Jalen Hurts is the first quarterback in NFL history to put gel in his hair with his right hand and comb with it with his left.
Yeah, which is a big deal. He has no hair, but yeah.
He has hair. You've seen the
Not enough
pictures.
to gel, bro. He's gelling that.
He needs to shape up, bro.
First player in NFL history to rack up over 1,000 yards through the air and 300 rushing yards through his first 5 career NFL starts. We'll see if he can follow that string up and keep it going after what he did against him.
Bitch.
Tough.
I don't think you do that,
that's
bro.
a bad time to announce our guest next week is Kay Adams. Here to debate Chris.
Bring it.
Anyways,
so did you tell everybody that we're waiting because he's having dessert with so Zach Pascal? Yeah, we're waiting because he's still at dinner with the Eagles coaches. So I did, just so everybody knows, I did tell him to let Nick know he's free to come on. So probably won't come on, but we'll see.
Pretty slim chance.
Yeah.
Well, now's a good time, I guess.
Imagine
if you got questions, spam the chat with them.
This has been a topic of conversation as of late, Morgan.
Yeah.
We didn't know.
I don't gel it.
Is the moose?
No, I don't do anything to it. That's why I wear a hat.
Is it like something about Mary?
It'd be really flat. It's really flat.
Morgan's too young for that movie.
Doesn't look good, but so I keep the hat on. But
you never saw something about Mary?
Morgan's too young for that movie.
He's only what, 27, 28?
I don't even think he's allowed in the theaters to watch that movie right now.
No, my mom won't take me to see movies like that. So.
Oh, you should see it sometime.
Yeah, it's good.
It's pretty funny, bro.
I gotta see Dune. I gotta see Batman, bro. Those are.
I had to see Dune. It's on HBO Max. I saw Batman. Yeah. Batman was phenomenal.
I'm waiting for Batman for HBO Max.
Oh,
it's sad, bro. Like my buddies are big Batman people. And there's an IMAX theater in Toronto, so they went and they did that, and they
you guys got that out there?
It was invented in Toronto.
Oh,
believe it or not.
Wow. Along with the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays were also invented in Toronto. Yeah. But okay, good question. But yeah, anyways, so all my buddies have seen it for the most part, and so I'm thinking, like, do I just catch a matinee by myself? Just like
that movie
sneak a couple beers in, like,
There's a theater by me that actually they serve alcohol, so they have craft beer.
Yeah. Like old fashioned ones are like a nice.
Yeah, the dine-in theater, right?
No, it's this one's called
the dine-in AMC's. You don't got a dine-in AMC, buddy?
I do, but I hate going there. I feel like their food is dirty as hell.
It's not dirty. It's just expensive. They
never cooked right.
They have alcohol,
but this one, like, they have like craft beer. They have a good selection of liquor and wine. It's kind of wild.
I mean, every movie theater by me serves alcohol. It's because I bring it with me.
That's what I was thinking.
I respect that on a different level of life.
You bring the little bottles and you just put them in your pockets. Like who's
just doing shot backs on the top row?
You open up the soda and just dump it in, and just if someone asks you what's that smell, you say mind your fucking business.
Oh god!
Next movie I'm seeing by myself is Multiverse of Madness.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see that. No, mine is reading cinemas, something like that.
Why are you reading in the movies?
I see what you did there.
Yeah, they read it to you there, which is nice too. Extra service. Nice. Serve you a beer, then they read you the manuscript.
Yeah, it's a bedtime story.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta see Dune too. Dune. you're right. We got it.
Has anybody seen Dune in the chat? Because I'm skeptical about it because I really don't want to waste my time, and I don't understand so much of the concept except for the fact that this kid had visions about a girl and he meets the girl, and I don't know if it's like Romeo or Juliet meets Star Wars.
Oh, Dune's not about sand?
It is, yeah, it's about
Like sand dunes?
They didn't mention nothing about sand. Yeah, they live on sand. Yeah,
dunes?
It's it's like Star Wars-esque, I think, but it's like, so I guess they did a movie on it. I want to say like the 90s.
No, I've never seen the old versions.
Yeah, and that one was like crazy confusing. They're trying to fit a bunch of books into one, and so this one tried to do the same thing, but they did it better. So like they did a good job of explaining stuff. Apparently, like Mandalorian and like style. I think like it might not be the same, but it's that more.
Okay. I thought you were trying to knock Mandalorian for a second. You're about to get kicked off.
I'm a big fan. Looking forward to the new season for sure.
That's about drug addiction and Romeo and Juliet. Can you have drugs on sand? What kind of drugs you got out there? Can't grow weed.
Well, it's like interplanetary, man. I thought it was like
ships from another
or
planet.
maybe like post-apocalyptic. Post-apocalyptic.
Say that 5 times fast.
I can't. I forfeit.
So as we wait for Zach to join the pod, is there anything that you guys want us to cover? I mean, we covered Zach signing beforehand. We also covered why Eagles should or should not go the route of Devontae Parker and how important it is to bring a wide receiver from the draft or from trade to this team if they want.
It was a full blown no on Devontae Parker,
right? It was a half no.
I mean, I put in the Slack chat that I said to bring him to me, but dude's hurt all the time.
He's pretty washed.
Like what I compared it to having Alshon the year after we won the Super Bowl.
That's a good comparison.
So Jay Fizz does have a question. Shout out to Jay Fizz, long time no see.
Jay Fizz, Mr. Bad Taste Buds.
Do you guys feel comfortable with our current
Mr. I can beat a kangaroo in a boxing match.
Well, we'll put it this way: if you can only pick one in the first round, and you have to choose between wide receiver or linebacker,
There's never been a better time to get away.
That was shit. Good thing I wasn't watching the wrong video.
Who do you pick? Yeah.
I rarely go. You got you have to go wide receiver because the importance of Jalen Hurts. If a lot is riding on Jalen Hurts' career this season, then you have to go wide receiver. You have to go for a weapon. I mean, linebacker, you still have Anthony Barr available in free agency, who has ties to John Gannon
and Nick Ralph.
The last Minnesota Vikings linebacker worked out really well for the Eagles. So,
what was that?
Eric Wilson.
Oh yeah. What the hell happened to that guy?
He's cut.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking of Houston. Old Houston players usually do well for the Eagles.
I wonder why the Eagles didn't
go for.
Was it Zach Cunningham? He came over.
No, he's not there.
No, he's dead.
Oh, D'Amico Ryans.
No,
Brandon Brooks.
Brian Brooks.
So let's go with Brandon Brooks. Let's go to Brandon Cooks.
Why do you want Cooks so bad?
He has produced 1,000 yards receiving with fucking me and you at quarterback. Like it's unreal.
He wasn't injured last year or nothing?
No, I think he missed a game because of COVID, maybe. But he hasn't had a concussion in 2 years, maybe 3 years. He's been relatively healthy outside of that, and like everybody's so scared about his concussions. It's been 2 or 3 years. I think like there was a concussion scare last year, I think, but he passed all the tests. He didn't miss a game at all because of concussions. He just produces year after year. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. Like he had.
Davis Mills slander will not be tolerated, Chris.
Davis Mills has a longer neck than I do. Let me just stop.
So Zach, just to give a heads up for everybody joining us right now, Zach is running a little late just because he was having dinner with the Eagles coaches. So
is Brian. Shut up, Alex.
Chris tucking over the hoodie. You can't really see my dog coach hoodie. He just looks like a black hoodie. That's all. All
right. So look, last 2 years with Houston, Brandon Cooks. Last year, 16 games, 1,037 yards. 2020, 15 games, 1,150. 2019, he was only 14 games and he had 583 yards. But then 2018 with the Rams, 1,204. New England, 1,082. New Orleans, 1,173.
How old is he?
He is going to be 29 in September.
Okay. I mean, it's not a bad move, but I mean, it's a good replacement for Jalen Reagor, for the guy who's supposed to be like Brandon
How
Cooks.
much does he cost? A second?
I would say a third or fourth. I would
Yeah.
definitely say.
You don't give him a second. This guy's gotten traded for so many valuable picks in his career.
So many first round
So
picks.
many. Isn't that so wild?
But that's why I feel like the value is like higher because like they can just point to 2 years ago when he was worth the first, or was it 3 years ago? But yeah, I would just get flashbacks of Malcolm
that
Jenkins.
hit. That hit in the Super Bowl was wild, and to me that was a big turning point because that you really took out a big
100%.
weapon.
Oh, it took
Which
one of
hit?
the biggest
Which hit do you
receivers
think? Which hit do you think was better? Malcolm Jenkins hit on Cooks or the Sheldon Brown hit on Reggie Bush?
Oh, that's a tough one. See, the thing is the hit on Reggie Bush is like you can't do that anymore. Like you're not going to get it.
That's a textbook hit though. That was
There's nothing wrong.
There was nothing wrong with that
Nowadays,
hit.
That's a defenseless receiver. Like I don't think you can hit people like that.
No,
anymore.
I don't think he was defenseless. I think he was like Bush was going for the pass and he catch it. He turned and then Sheldon Brown.
No, I don't know. I don't know if his head was turned. I don't know if he took 2 steps. Like it was pretty bang.
But in that day and age, there was no 2-step rule. It was just like it was football, the gridiron. Hey, puppy.
But that hit was crazy.
Is that Snow Gonzalez over there?
There's Snow Cameron. No more Gonzalez, all right?
Okay.
We were thinking about renaming him, but it's like he's 15 months into his life. Like he's accustomed to snow, so we take the L on there. But he's a hell of a dog, right?
He's 15 years old?
No, 15 months.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, damn.
Here we go. Here we go.
All right. See, at the time, perfectly legal hit. I don't know anymore.
At the time, yes.
All right, here we go.
Reggie Bush lines up as the tailback. Reese.
See right there? He's about to catch it.
All right.
He's laid down.
And then, boom.
Oh my God.
And a crunching hit put on by Sheldon Brown. And Bush takes a while to get up.
This is why running backs don't want to
And
catch
now goes down again.
Oh my God. He's playing the effects of it. This guy got desegregated by
Look.
Okay. 1, 2.
He was defensive.
That's crazy. You know, it would probably get.
Can you show the Brandon Cooks one?
It would probably get called in today's day and age as a bad call.
They put
Brian's here saying we should trade for Brandon Cooks, and then 2 minutes later, it's like, "Yo, put that hit on."
I want to see.
Like, man's not coming here, man.
Yo,
man's not coming
Malcolm
here.
was so like he was so like swagged out that he's like just flexing on the guy while the guy's completely unconscious.
Yeah, poor guy didn't get up. I hate hits like that, but it was a nice hit.
So, quick question in the chat from Duck. Thoughts about the stupid possibility of bringing back Barnett? I don't think that happens, right? Like,
it depends how much money it's for.
I guess.
If it's more than $1 million, if it's more than $1 million, I think it's overpaid.
Here we go. Here it is.
Keep that field wide open.
Got the ball. Where'd I go? Ah!
And he gets smacked down at the 40-yard line, taking some shot.
Bro, he got laid out, bro. And Jenkins is flexing while this guy's unconscious.
After a 23.
Yeah, first it was a bigger hit.
Here's a good question for you guys.
Coming back out, but as he came out and caught the ball,
where the hell was he going?
Disoriented, turned around, looped back around, and never saw Malcolm Jenkins.
And see, that was
a little.
That's an illegal hit. That's an illegal hit. So,
best catch in Eagles history.
The Torrey Smith catch.
The flea flicker?
Yeah.
I think it was the Alshon Jeffrey one
in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
bro, the way he rotated his body, man.
That's my second one. I like the Torrey Smith one better.
Also, you could argue that my boy Corey Clement's catch.
That was a spectacular catch.
That was impressive. I feel like that one gets overlooked because you just caught it kind of
I
awkwardly.
feel like a very overlooked catch is Miles Sanders against the Washington Redskins at
on
the time.
the back of the end zone.
Back at end zone, yes.
Yeah, that was a beautiful throw too, though.
That was an amazing throw.
Yeah,
How that pass did not get intercepted, I have no idea how.
It's kind of crazy. If you would have told me in 2017 that Carson Wentz would be where he's at now, I don't know if I would have believed you, man. During the MVP year and like doing all that stuff, still one of the most impressive like highlight films I've ever seen from a quarterback. Is just I just watch that whenever I'm feeling sad. I just watch the 2017 Carson Wentz highlights.
What a fall from grace, because a number 2 pick, was going to be the face of the NFL, and then
I don't know why the Colts decided they really had to get rid of him that bad. Probably the contract. But.
Imagine like going from inevitable unanimous MVP to tearing your ACL and then now being a Washington quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Like
now being a Washington quarterback, that's just like, okay, hit the bottom.
The ripple effect that went from that Mark Barron hit. He was ready to be MVP and just take over the freaking league, and then all of a sudden, he's on Washington now.
Still threw a touchdown with a torn ACL, man. Like that's I don't know. It sucks that his legacy is gonna be, what it is now. I feel bad for
catch in the Super Bowl.
Alshon's was better, but that's a good catch too.
Alshon's
was like fully outstretched. Like that was beautiful. I mean that's a good point. I feel like there's some of that there.
But players come out and they refute these reports, and they say like, hey, no, like he's actually a really good guy. Like we're gonna miss him. Like thank you for give us like Darius Leonard, Michael Pittman.
They're always gonna say that. They're not gonna come out and be like, "Yo, good riddance of this motherfucker." Like,
but there's got to be truth to it. Like there has to be a weird disconnect going on
and
wherever
like,
he is.
Regardless, man, like talent wise, I think that now he's playing at a level where those things matter. But like, there's so many players in the NFL that are not good teammates that are just really good, and you just make sacrifices, right? Like, think about even like Juju Smith-Schuster. That's another hard name for me to say.
You mean wide receiver 1, Juju Smith-Schuster?
But that's what I'm talking about, right? Like clearly had him and Chase Claypool clearly were at odds with the rest of the team, and you trade him, but he's still like a wide receiver 1, right? And who knows what he's going to do in Kansas City? But you talk about the one case that really stands out is Antonio Brown. Like, not a good teammate at all, but he's really talented, so people overlook it. So I just feel like Carson's like talent level now is just at a level like he's not playing. Whereas he could have a great season in Washington. I really hope, honestly,
in Washington.
I wish he went somewhere else so I could cheer for him, but I cannot. I feel really bad for Gio, man. That's gonna be tough.
Yeah,
he moved to Indy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, poor guy.
No, it wasn't for Wentz. It was they found a good job over there and good hospitals and so
But I mean, is he gonna go for a Washington jersey? That's gonna be
Gio can't
difficult.
do that. He knows he can't do that.
Yeah.
Gio. One dude came in my mention that said something about Wentz going to the commies, and he said it's gonna be funny when Wentz lights is up next year. And I clicked on his profile, and it was that typical AO1 type things, and he's retweeting Washington shit. And he's like, and then his bio says biggest Eagles fan ever or something like that. I'm like, are you kidding? And I said something to, and he said, what? I can't, you can't be an Eagles fan and also support another quarterback. No, he's like, if he was on Indy, I get it, but he's on the enemy now. Like, fuck that. No, you should hope he fails.
Ideally,
his success means our demise. It's not a give or take thing. It's like, if Carson Wentz is successful, that means the Eagles are not successful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he was also. I mean, he was reportedly very stubborn of going against his own ways and listening to coaches.
You know what's gonna be really telling is how Doug Peterson does in Jacksonville. I feel like that's gonna shine a huge light on the story.
Yes, absolutely. I think, especially with Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he had a bad. He didn't have a bad season, but he didn't have the season that people were expecting him to have.
I mean, you can't in Jacksonville, man. I feel like Jacksonville is one of those places you can't win. Like,
Very
they
difficult.
made that one. They had that one playoff run when their defense was one of the most stacked defenses. Yeah, so good. And then they just blew that up for some reason. But like Jacksonville's just a tough city to win in. So if Doug can win in Jacksonville, man, it's gonna make Carson look a lot worse, and vice versa. Like, you got Trevor Lawrence there, and you're supposed to be a quarterback guy. If he can't develop this year, then it's just gonna be interesting.
Yeah, the free agency for Jacksonville was a little wild. They were just throwing
They
money.
They kind of did what the Browns did years ago, where you just spend money in free agency and you make it a destination city. Where it's like, you gotta do that. You gotta spend money somehow, and no one's gonna want to come to Jacksonville of their own free will. Like, no offense. Have you ever met a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, by the way?
I've never met one at all.
I have.
Yeah.
I was roommates with some. No, he was a douchebag. I was roommates with one sophomore year of college, and this dude, he sucked, and we weren't really as roommates. Like me and my roommate, it was in a suite, so we had one room, and then there was a common area, and then there was another room, and he was in that other room, so it was a suite of 4, and he said that he was a Jaguars fan because when he was younger, his parents got him a book bag and it had a Jaguar in it, and so he's been a Jaguars fan since. That was it.
I feel bad. I kind of feel bad for him. Like, no wonder he's a douchebag. I would be a douchebag too. Like, that's just tough. How can you take that all the time?
Yeah. So we're still waiting to see when Zach is gonna be done with this freaking dinner. Like, we're not like this kind of. I feel like this makes us look like liars. But we promise, guys. Like, we had this. Like, we wouldn't be promoting this if we were liars. We'd get called out by Eagles players if we did. We get called out by Zach himself. Be like, nah, I'm not going on that shit. Right, so we're trying. Maybe we'll wait another 10 minutes to see what's going on.
We do have another question by Jay Fizz. Do you guys think we can make a legit playoff run with all the QBs who left the conference?
If they surround Hurts with talent, more talent, yeah.
That's the key thing. You got to get him the weapons. He can't produce if there's no weapons outside of Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and Miles Sanders, who's consistently in the lineup.
Just looking up the 2022 opponents. So obviously you got the 4 in the. So you play Green Bay. You play the Vikings. You're playing the NFC North. You play the Jags. Play the Titans. Saints. Steelers. Bears.
That's gonna be some like, there are some games this year that are gonna be freaking like exciting. Like, it's
Texans.
Like, you got the Washington. You got Wentz's return.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got the game against Doug.
Yeah.
No, it's.
You got a game against Ertz.
Yeah, you got Ertz. It's
Cardinals. Too bad that.
I mean, they were going to face Wentz. They were going to face Wentz regardless, even if he was on the coach. But now he's coming back to Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And because if
that's going to be the Zach Pascal homecoming.
There you go. And so when Zach gets back to Indy,
yeah.
It's Sirianni. No, it's Sirianni.
Mm-hmm.
It's Sirianni.
That's big, yeah. It's big for Sirianni.
So it'll. I mean, who cares about playing Matt Ryan?
You got the Rasul Douglas homecoming.
The
Packers. Yeah. Yeah. Overall, it's not a crazy schedule. Like Packers, Bills, Titans. Those are your 3 hardest games. Who knows what the Packers are going to do without Devontae Adams? They're going to have to draft a receiver. They're going to have to.
Do they have the capital to trade up?
Everybody has capital to trade up. It's just
a matter of spending it.
I mean, I know I saw like there was a tweet. I think I put in the Slack chat that the Packers and the Chiefs are looking to trade for Tyler Lockett or DK. Imagine the Chiefs get DK as they trade away Tyreek Hill. That's trading away a freaking Porsche, an old model Porsche. Who's not too old, but then just buying a new Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder who's going to cost more.
Oh, DK.
You think so?
You think they gave a 5? They got 5 picks.
Between Tyreek Hill. I thought you meant between DK and Tyler Lockett.
Oh no.
No,
yeah.
I don't think DK would cost nearly as much as Tyler.
I think 2 picks max. Definitely,
maybe a first, maybe first and a third, for DK. Which I don't know if I'll do that.
No,
if it's just one first, probably. But if it's multiple, I don't think that. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I think. I mean, making the playoffs seems like a real possibility. I think Dallas is probably still the favorite to win the division, but probably sneak into a wild card spot. The run, I'm not sure about. I think you need a really good defense, and then you need to hope that Jalen Hurts develops chemistry with his wide receiver 2 or Dallas Goedert. Man, Dallas Goedert, like, I don't understand why they don't use him, man. He's so good. He could easily be like top 3. Probably top, like, I don't know what happened with Darren Waller, but
it took them a while to get him situated with the system.
So long. And then he had those drops where it's just like, he's clearly not in a rhythm. Like, just give him the ball, man. Hand it off to him if you have to. You make stuff happen. Like, bring back the tight end around, like, whatever, man. From JV, like, just give him the ball. And he shit, you guys are going.
I don't know. I read something the other day that the Eagles were betting favorites to win the division.
I wouldn't
really,
but like I forget who was it. I forget what was it. Probably PFF, some stupid like that.
There's something like that, or Gridiron.
That they put out that the teams that have improved wins or whatever improved the most on their from offseason moves, and the Eagles apparently did not improve at all. Despite adding Haas Reddick. The Cowboys have regressed. The Giants have regressed. But Washington has improved because of Carson Wentz.
Sure.
That's so stupid.
Well, I think Washington defense is going to be better again. Like, I think that was a one-off year. They have a really good coaching staff. I don't like the Eagles. The Eagles got better. They didn't really lose anyone, and they
lost Fletcher Cox for 24 hours, but that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, how are you worse?
Yeah.
The Giants suck. The Giants really suck.
They're really bad.
Like, the Giants just suck. They're so bad.
They're really bad.
Yeah, and we have 3 first-round picks, which is crazy.
Maybe we have 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, I think the possibility of trading back to get more picks is very real. Late in the first is like a really good window for a lot of the players we need.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens with the Eagles for the rest of the free agency period. So looks like Zach is actually still with the Eagles coaches at dinner, which is the reason he ran late. Promise you guys that at some point we're gonna coordinate something to get him onto the podcast. Chris and I and Morgan are incorporated with a group chat with him. Promise you guys that we did not hype this up for no reason. So we do apologize for him not coming on.
Let me do this. Ready?
Hey, thank you to Jasira again.
Yes,
for
absolutely.
Coming on. He was a great guest. I feel bad now for making it short, but
Oh, he was great. Yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I just feel bad for everybody that joined on. Again,
Just in case anybody doubts it, there's Zach Pascal said, "Hey, I'm at dinner with the Eagles coaches. Can we move to 9:30?"
Yeah, so we're gonna try our best to get Zach on a podcast, possibly next week, hopefully. When things kind of calm down for him. Until then, stay tuned to our Twitter. I mean, you guys have been great with following us and everything of that sort. Oh wait.
Oh, hold on. He responded. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I can. Can we? You want to do it tomorrow?
It's gotta be
Yep.
9.
We got to check with the wives.
If it's 9 o'clock, I could do it. My wife is getting tatted tomorrow, so yeah.
We got to check with the wives.
All right, guys. So apparently,
Zach.
it's happening tomorrow night.
so Zach just responded. Sorry, fellas, can we do it tomorrow? Didn't know this evening was going to end like this. He didn't know the Eagles coach was going to be, eating, making him eat so much.
Mm-hmm. Which happened.
So yeah. We'll put out the details on Twitter. I'm gonna have to go talk.
Mine's
to my
gonna
wife.
get tired of seeing my face. That's gonna be the biggest problem.
I'm gonna owe my wife so much after this. I feel it. I know it's happening. Like it's just in my bones. I feel it happening.
Yeah, I'm gonna go serenade my wife right now and be like, "Hey, listen,
hey, babe.
Hey,
we'll ask Zach
you
on the pod tomorrow, and then
so we'll have Zach on the pod most likely at 9 o'clock. Like I said, we'll put details out in the morning on our Twitter and Instagram. So please stay tuned. It would not be another late night. It will be an hour and a half. But yeah, we'll make the best of it. So if you guys can, definitely join us tomorrow night. If you're listening to this on the road, and it's Thursday morning, definitely join us Thursday night at 9 p.m., which was kind of the original plan. And we'll have Eagles wide receiver Zach Pascal on to talk about Philly and his move
and his dinner. He better have a good ass dinner.
I hope he had a steak or something.
He's gonna detail every single portion on this fucking dinner.
How was the first bite? How was the second bite?
Yeah. What'd you guys talk about?
What was dessert like?
How much you tip? Are you LaShawn McCoy?
Oh my god! But yeah, until tomorrow, guys. I'm Brian Cameron. He's Chris Infante. Alongside Morgan Burkett, we're flipping the birds, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Make sure to break out the hair for tomorrow. That's all I'll do.
Yeah, definitely do your hair. All right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Go birds.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks for waiting up with us. And again, thank you to Jasir for coming on.
You love Jasir, man. I feel it. He's a gush about him.
I mean, I just have a feeling he's gonna be a midnight green. I just have a feeling.
All right, guys.